Let's make history. So this story really begins with Biggie. Biggie was a really intelligent and savvy businessman. People don't know. You have, it's a big thing in hip hop, shouting out your record label. I don't think it's really done in any other music. Biggie had a successful record label. People don't know. So let me take you back. Biggie signs with Puff, or Diddy as we call him now. He signs with Diddy, and his career takes off. Multi-platinum records. What does Biggie do? He assembles all his friends into a rap group called Junior Mafia. He writes all the songs, and using his leverage, the leverage of his popularity, he puts out a song called Get Money, which was through the roof. If you were around when it came out, the song was huge. Still is. So now, Biggie has a record label with a friend of his named Undeus. And the record label was named after his friend and business partner, Undeus. It was Undeus Records. First act, Junior Mafia. Multi-platinum. What does Biggie do? He signs Lil' Kim, the iconic Lil' Kim, whether you love her or hate her. Shout out to Lil' Kim. He signs Lil' Kim as a solo artist, as a sex symbol style solo artist, and he wrote her records and also brought in other writers, like I think Jadakiss and like several others. Anyways, Lil' Kim career takes off, multi-platinum album. Biggie now has a record label, half owner, but it's still his record label, with two multi-platinum artists. So what happens then, and this is how the story I bring it to today, Mace brings Cameron to Biggie. Because at the time, like Cameron said on his podcast, it is what it is. And I remember this, Cameron, McGruff, Mace, Bloodshed, Cameron's cousin, and I think it was Big L too. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. But anyways, they had a group, a collective called Children of the Corn, who had a serious buzz in Harlem. Not just Harlem in the city, but mostly in Harlem, right? So Mace got his deal at the same time Biggie did. So Mace's career took off. So Mace, instead of bringing, and this speaks volumes, by the way, instead of bringing Cameron to, which was his best friend growing up too, by the way, instead of bringing Cameron to Puff, he brought Cameron to Biggie. And Cameron was going to be the third artist that was going to come out on the label. Actually, Cameron's the one who I think did some writing for Lil' Kim and Lil' C's, if I'm not mistaken. But before they get to like put Cameron out, what happens? Biggie dies. Unfortunately. Very, very tragic. Because he would have still been making music today. So Biggie died. I think they lost their deal. Undeus lost their deal. So the guy Undeus, Biggie's business partner, he relaunched the label in '98 as Entertainment. And they had two artists. They had Cameron, and then they had Charlie Baltimore, who was actually someone who Biggie was dating, quote unquote. She was involved with Biggie like that was his side piece, as they say. No disrespect to her, but that's just what the situation was. So Entertainment soon folded, but Cameron got to put out two albums that did pretty well.
98. Mm-hmm. Well, first you guys dropped the soundtrack to the film Woo under Entertainment. Mm-hmm. And then Cameron's first album comes out, Confessions of Fire.
While the industry was saying unfinished.
Right, because
Biggie's dead.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden, we ship a gold album on a brand new artist out of nowhere, right? This artist that Dame Dash in Freeze record didn't know what to do with Cameron, right? He was signed to Freeze Records with Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, right? So we had to buy Cam out of his Freeze contract, right? And blew him up.
So when the label folded, Cameron reemerged years later. with a classic album on Rockefeller Records, and not only that, but he brought a crew with him, and that was the Diplomats, and they proceeded to take New York by storm. They had one of the biggest crews in not just New York City, but in hip-hop overall. And as happens when you see that level of success, once the money started kicking in and people got more power, issues began to arise within the camp of Dipset. So once you started having internal problems within Dipset, then enters none other than 50 Cent, which brings us to the feud, which is going on right now and started a few weeks ago at the end of 2024 going into 2025. For those who remember, back when Cam and 50 Cent had a feud, 50 Cent got in Machiavelli mode, and he went and got Jim Jones and Joel Santana, members from Cameron's crew, to appear on stage with him. It was like on Rap City. It was insane. So they spoke about that. And Jim Jones took offense. And Jim Jones was on a podcast called Respectfully. And he basically had some words for Cameron, some harsh words for Cameron.
Well, it is what it is, you heard?
Keeping it Cam right now. He just did the interview with 50.
Them niggas be on my dick, right? Them niggas ain't got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them niggas in their life, you heard? Both of them. Pause, though. Get off my dick. There's only space on there for baby girl, man. Come on, man. Tugging on my shit like that. I took the position of my position. Cam is my partner. I'm not his artist. I was the CEO of Diplomats. I made Diplomats with him. I was with him for every bit of his journey. I held him down. I took that position of holding him down. I'm not his soldier. You heard? I'm his partner.
And I just feel like loyalty is the one word that describes you.
Yeah.
What would you... I want you to define loyalty, though.
I mean, loyalty and stupidity run neck and neck. You know what I told you that? When you become loyal to a flaw, it starts to become a problem. You heard? And at that point, it's a stupid thing to do. You know what I mean? It serves you no purpose in the journey you set out to and whatever you was loyal to and shit like that. You know what I mean? There's like so many different variables. But for the cause, shit, I was in it wholeheartedly until and I'm still in it wholeheartedly. I'm still holding the flag up. It never stopped for me. I wasn't. It just, you know. You would think certain people would take care of you better as a partner than the way you got treated. Yeah, nigga, you a boss and you helped put everything together. This whole shit started in my grandmother's house. Mace, Cam, Bloodshed, all of that shit started out my grandmother's house. Everybody got signed living with me in my grandmother's house, with me, not with them. They was all living with me. This where the whole nucleus and everything started from.
You are a guardian angel and designer, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about, man, nigga? You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, my nigga. I did not grow up with you. Contrary to what you believe, I did not grow up with you. You are from the Bronx. Did your grandmother live in Harlem? Yes. Did you come see her? Yes. Did I see you time to time? Yes. I did not grow up with you. You talk about dick ride now. That's where this old shit, I would have left you alone. I would have left the old shit alone. But listen, dick ride, do you remember how we met, nigga? Pause. Not met, how you got cool with us? And you came up to me one day when I was chilling in front of the house. You said, and this word to my dead mother, yo, man, I heard the freestyles. Y'all killing shit. Yo, you know my grandmother died. If y'all want to come by and just hang out, y'all could. Y'all more than welcome. More freestyles come out. Yo, I heard the new shit you did. I heard the new shit you did. Yo, you want to come through? Come through. Why? Why are we going to Jomo's house? I be at everybody's house, though. I live with my grandparents. My grandparents were strict. I stayed at Duke the God house. I stayed at Mace with Cuda. I stayed at her. I stayed a bunch of. I never needed nowhere to stay. You act like niggas on your couch. You was a fan, nigga. You begged us. You are a fan, nigga. A fan. We didn't grow up with you. I am from 140th and Lenox. I am from NFL. Up the block was 40 Wolves. Lou Simpsons, I'm on 142nd Cross Square. D. Ferg on number 8th Avenue. I don't see you around none of this. Shout out to my nigga, what's the nigga Final 4 billion them you started? You not from none of that. So you gonna sit around and act like you been around all this Harlem shit and everything.
And then Cameron came back with the ether on his sports show, which is called It Is What It Is. If you are into sports, definitely check it out. And Jim Jones already came back with a clip of a sneak preview of his song. Now, he doesn't mention Cameron or anything in the song, but supposedly it's going to be a Cameron / 50 Cent diss. So this is like the hottest thing right now on the internet. Now, let me just say, we're all from the same area. I have big respect for these guys. I was a fan of the music, big fan of Diplomats, and I'm still a big fan of Diplomats. And I have so much respect for Cameron because he essentially created an empire, and he's about to do it again. Like he was really the mastermind behind Dipset. He was truly the mastermind, and it was his vision. He was a visionary, and he ran Dipset to become one of the top crews in New York City music. That is huge. Millions of records sold, world tours, merch, and now he's doing it again in the podcast circuit with the It Is What It Is podcast. So much respect for Cameron. Definitely an underrated rapper. Highly, highly talented. And I have much respect for Jim Jones because I feel like, how could you not? Because if you saw the journey, how he started under Cam, played his position, which he's saying to his point, that's one of his points. He played his position, and he didn't stay stuck in that role. He ventured out there and paid his dues and became, and got his own crew and became a leader of his own right. Really like neck and neck with Cam. There was points in his career where he was really surpassing Cam even. You know, and then you look at what he's doing today, his workout game is insane. Like the progress he's made physically. He posted on IG, working out, staying fit. Lots of respect for Jim Jones. All the Dipset members, really. And even though everybody's enjoying this little beef, I hope that, you know, they can all come together. These guys known each other for years, you know. I would like to see them come together and possibly make some music that could be asking for too much. But can we at least get a mixtape from Cam and Mace? Could we at least get that? Then we could work on getting Jimmy back on board. It might not ever happen because this thing is really heated. So it seemed like it's done. They'll probably never make amends. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. Cameron was talking about when he started off rapping in Children of the Corn. One of the members was his cousin Bloodshed, who I actually went to school with. He was in my 7th grade class, and we used to always debate. That was my guy. We used to debate all the time. Even back then, I was doing it. It's crazy. At that young age, we used to debate like somewhat about politics, socio-political issues or whatever. We were young, like 12, 13 years old. But he was a fly dude, man. He was really fly. Well-dressed guy. Really cool. Smart. And so we were cool. I didn't know, we actually never spoke about rap. We used to always talk about socio-political issues, but I did know him. His name was Derek Armstrong. R.I.P. Bloodshed. I'm so sad that he never got to be a part of what Dipset became. So the song that Jim Jones put out in response to Cam, it sounds good, a soulful type of a song. It sounds good, but to me it doesn't sound like clapback material. It doesn't sound like the type of thing a type of song that you would use. Like it's a solid album cut, possibly even a single, but it doesn't strike me as the type of song you would use to come back to Cameron's rant, which, like I said, is super viral right now. It's all over the internet. So I'm curious to see. I'm sure he's gonna come back with something, but I'm curious to see which direction he's gonna go in now that he dropped the clip of that song. So, but as far as their mini war, they both made good points. Right now, Cam though does have the edge. Jim was making the point of how, or he's made it on several occasions when he got jumped at the Rucker Park and over there by the Polo Grounds. It was brawling. We all saw the video. Or I should say, most of us saw the video. Jim Jones was brawling. He had to get out of there. There was too many of them. So one of the main arguments in defense of Jimmy is that when he got jumped at the Rucker Park, when the guys from Brooklyn, Little C's and people affiliated with his camp, they ambushed Jim at the Rucker Park over by the Polo Grounds, and everybody said, oh, that Cam left him. Cam didn't jump in to help him. And it was too many guys. He was fighting, though. He was definitely brawling. The thing is, Cam actually did try to help him. As soon as he saw it, he dived in to go help Jimmy. But the problem is that this was a setup. This was an ambush because these guys from Brooklyn, they set all this up. They had guys on the perimeter, so when anybody tried to jump in, including the security for the ball game, they had guys lined up, major guys like Wolf. Search Wolf on YouTube and look at the story on Wolf, who was murdered eventually. But they had guys like Wolf and other guys, like dudes that were like bouncer type guys that were blocking anyone else from jumping in to help Jimmy. It was all set up. So how could you expect Cam to jump in and help him when security for the event couldn't even get in to break it up? So I feel like Cam gets a bad rap for that. I will say, though, I don't know how they allowed themselves to get caught slipping like that in their own neighborhood. Maybe they felt because they were in their own neighborhood, they didn't need to beef up security, but it's like, you guys are the largest and one of the most impactful groups, collectives in hip-hop. You gotta know that people are gunning for you. And they had a lot of enemies, so I would like to hear somebody one day, hopefully maybe one day Cam or Jimmy or whoever can go back on Drink Champs and explain that. Somebody from the Dipset camp can go and explain that. Where did they go wrong there? Like, they didn't have enough people with them. Like, what happened with that? A lot of people want to know that still, all these years later.